What's up, everyone? Hey, look, oftentimes when I'm on Facebook or whatever fucking platform I'm on, I see sellers saying, dude, if I sell my home, since the market is so hot, I won't be able to find a place to live. And that is true in some aspects, right? So what I wanted to talk about is how to be able to find a place to live and some strategies behind it. All this ties together. You should be able to, you got to be fluid with it and understand the pros and cons. And myself, I could explain pros and cons. I'm not going to get too deep into that right now, right? But let's say you have a home, your first home, and you want to upgrade, but you're afraid I won't have a place to live. So first thing we need to talk about is your goal with the new home. How long do you want to be in that new home? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Is it your dream home? What size, what price range? That will actually be a big determining factor on how we structure your new purchase contract to get into that new dream home, right? Next thing you got to consider is your equity in your current home and how much you want to use. With that being said, oftentimes some people like to take some equity and pay off some credit card debt or whatever the hell you want to do. But we really need to understand how much we truly have and how much we want to apply towards that new loan and that new purchase, right? Once we got that figured out, we could structure your contract in a few different ways. This is specific to Utah. Every state's a little bit different, but nationwide we're in a seller's market. But if you need help anywhere, just let me know. We can help you out. But some things we could do so you're not worried about having to, not worried about not having a place, I guess you could say, is offering above appraisal value if the home appraises below purchase price, right? So this may require you to do $10,000, $20,000 over the appraised value. And like I said, this all coincides together. You might have to adjust your goal with the new home. Let's say you wanted to be into it for 5 years. Now you got to be into it for 7 years. Things like that, right? That's something you could do. Next thing is you could do non-refundable earnest money. The way I like to describe earnest money is like a security deposit for a home when you buy it up front. But you can make that non-refundable. So if you cancel, that earnest money goes to the sellers, right? There's some pros and cons to this. I'm not going to dive into that deep right now. And there's different ways to structure this, such as after your inspection period, things like that, right? Something quite often that I see is buying the home as is. If you're buying and upgrading a home, oftentimes they don't have a lot of shit that's wrong with it. So they just buy it as is and pay $500 for a home warranty. And they'll get an inspection so they're 100% certain on what they're getting and some things they should repair prior to moving in. Another thing we could do is the escalation clause. There's a lot of different versions out there. Our escalation clause is one that is basically calling any seller's bluffs on multiple offers. It's something I really use. It's specific to us. So if you want to know more about that, let me know. We're here to help. Another one is no contingencies, right? Such as this purchase isn't contingent upon the inspection period or appraisal. That is showing a super, super strong offer. You combine all those, there's pros and cons like I said, but the more stuff you add, it could be a little bit riskier, but we need to think about our goals and if that really is your dream upgrade home, right? Some other things, you got to get pre-approved, obviously. In some states, I believe you could show how much money you're putting down in the contract. If you could get a conventional loan with 20 or even more % down, that's going to show how much of a stronger buyer you are. So yeah, with those, I mean, the more you combine those, there's risk associated to it. You may have to adjust your goals. Another thing too I really want to touch on is if you are wanting to buy a new home that's subject to you selling your old home, I would actually recommend against that, right? So what most people do is they're going to sell that home, and yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but remember, we have to be competitive, but they're going to sell that home and rent a place month to month, right? And that may include them putting their stuff in storage or one of those pods, so they just put it in there. Once they find a new home, they're able to call the company, move it back in. But that's something to think about as well, right? So yeah, so there's some things you could do to make give you a better offer, especially if you're selling a home and wanting to get in that new one. There's a lot of hype out there. I fucking hate it, to be honest. A lot of realtors say, oh, sell right now, it's the lowest inventory it's ever been, but we need to have a realistic conversation about what that actually looks like, and this information is how we can beat that and how we can make sure we're going into this with 100% certainty and conviction. So let me know if I can help you guys with anything, real estate, whatever. Follow me on Instagram. If you like this video, share it, man. I know there's someone that needs to hear this, and a lot of people aren't going to speak the truth. They're just going to say it's fucking hot market, sell your home. But we're here looking out for you. That's what we do. That's how we build our business. And if there's anything I could ever help you with, please let me know. Y'all have a good day.